So for the past 3 years, I've been teaching myself how to swim, and so today I'm going to be talking about how my progress has been for this past year, how have my times changed, how has my practicing changed, have I gotten any better in swimming, and where will this lead me heading into the future.
He's going out there. He's doing his thing.
So let's start off with my training. So right now I'm training 5 days a week in the pool, with 3 of those days in the week being about workout days. And when I train on workout days, I am looking to hit around 3,000 yards or more. And on the easy days, I probably hit around very close to 3,000 yards as well. And this has been something that in this last maybe 6 months or so of my training, probably even less than that, I've been really trying to focus on upping my mileage, upping my yardage in the pool, knowing that I need to have not only consistency, but continuing to increase the load that I put on myself. So that means increasing the amount of reps I do, increasing the yards, increasing my time in the pool. Now I know that swimming is huge, big technique focus. Like if you don't have good technique in the pool, it doesn't matter how fit you are, you're not going to swim well. And so that is also a big part of my training. Is I spend a lot of time every day in practice doing some technique and trying to focus on bettering my stroke. So overall, I'm probably swimming each week. It ranges between about 11,000 yards a week to 15,000 yards a week, depending on if I'm having a good week or not, and if I'm being, consistent, and if nothing comes up. That is a pretty standard week. Last year, I was kind of in the same boat. I was probably around 9,000 yards to peaking around 14,000 yards or so during the summer of last year. And my times this year have gotten slightly faster, and it is good indication to me that I'm still making progress in the pool. Now, it is hard to translate that progress in the pool into open water, but I feel more comfortable than I ever have in the water, which you would think is hopefully the case as I spend more time in the water. I'll give you a quick rundown of around what I believe my PRs are for, the 50 yards or 100 yards or 200 yards. So a lot of these PRs are kind of just estimates, or not estimates, but kind of what I hit in practice. So right now I'm swimming around a 32 second for a 50-yard sprint. For 100 yards, I believe I've hit about a 110 for 100 yards. And, I honestly don't really know what my 200-yard split, my fastest 200-yard split is, but I'm sure it's somewhere under 240. But the last time that I've swam some really fast 200s, it was around the 236, 237 range for 200 yards. So my top end isn't super fast if you're comparing it to somebody who's a normal swimmer, somebody who's been swimming for quite a long time since they were a child, but my sprint times have gotten a lot faster. And like I've said in last year's video, I've gotten incredibly more efficient in the water, and I believe that the speed will come as I get more efficient in the water. So over the longer distances, over the longer reps, I have become more efficient. So, it's a lot easier for me to hold a 120 per 100 yards pace than it was, last year. It's a lot easier for me to do 10 100s, at a 120 average pace. The effort level is a lot easier than it was last year, which is a really good sign to me. And now I can consistently hit, a 115, 100 yards a lot easier than I used to. So right now, what technique am I really focusing on? Where do I feel like I really lack? And where do I feel like I can gain a lot of improvements? So right now, I'm focusing a lot on rhythm and symmetry in my stroke. So rhythm is what I've learned is really important in the water, specifically having a good kick rhythm to your pull, to your rotation. Everything needs to be in a dance. Everything needs to be perfectly aligned in order for you to glide through the water in your most efficient way possible. So I've done a lot of, 3-beat, 6-beat kicking drills. I've done a lot of rotational drills as well, focusing on keeping my hips high up in the water and focusing on extending through with each catch. So I've been working on my catch rhythm as well. Mainly I've been focusing on keeping my hand out extended longer as I re-enter, so I get the most amount of propulsion without drag. So I've noticed that I'm sometimes pulling way too early before my other hand is even in the water. So trying to make sure that everything is like kind of in a good rhythm. And so something else that I've really struggled with in swimming is not wiggling in the water. So what do I mean by that is, whenever I rotate, everything kind of wiggles. So my chest will rotate and then my hips will rotate at a separate time. So trying to make sure everything stays in a straight line as I rotate so that I don't create any extra wiggle drag. So another area of focus is open water swimming. I've actually braved the elements a lot more this year than I ever have. I've started swimming in the ocean more, and I've started doing a lot more open water swimming. I have a better wetsuit than I've had in the past, and I have the means to be able to swim in the ocean when I can, and so I've been trying to get out there, maybe once a month out to the ocean to do a little open water swim practice, just merely out of comfortability practice and out of just training that open water stroke, because it is so uncomfortable to swim in the open water, especially in the ocean, and it just, you can really psych yourself out there in the deep blue. In the last triathlon that I did in the open water, I felt really comfortable throughout, and that is something else that I want to be able to push the swim like I push the bike and the run. Like when I get into the water to do a swim and triathlon, I mainly have just been trying to focus on keeping myself calm and keeping my breathing under control. But I want to get to the point where I can push it a little bit, get my heart rate up a little bit, and I'm not scared of getting any anxiety attack or anything like that. Swimming is one of those sports that I've really come to appreciate learning, and I've come to enjoy being around a lot of the other people in the pool. There's definitely a lot more of a community aspect in the pool because you're forced to be around other people in the pool. Whenever I go out on a run or a bike ride, it's usually by myself, and all the runners don't meet in one spot to go run. You end up, meeting people, getting tips from people, and so that's been extremely helpful for my progress. And I've been a part of programs, master swim programs before, and they've been really helpful for me in learning how to swim and feeling like I'm a part of the swimming community. Where does this lead me heading into my next year of swimming? I'm hoping to continue to increase my training volume, just like I've been trying to increase my training volume with the running and biking. and hopefully I will eventually get to the point where I'm swimming 20,000 yards a week. You know, it's not going to happen in 1 week. It's not going to happen in 1 month probably, but you know, as I get more consistent and as I continue to train, I'll get there eventually. But I'm still enjoying swimming. Not every day, of course. You know, some days are it sucks to get in the pool, and you know, I just want to punch the water, and then I'm still enjoying the progress. Like, this is still a new sport to me, and I'm still learning a lot, which is super fun. So here's to another year of swimming, and thanks for watching this video, guys.